I'm Emilian Limon, and welcome to Other Presidential Potentials 2024. This is the place to discover some of the other people who have officially filed to run for president in 2024. They were chosen randomly from the Federal Election Commission website and are being spotlighted to see if they have the chops to take the seat in the Oval Office. Our next candidate comes from the great state of North Carolina.
My name is Jasmine Sherman, and I want to be the next president of the United States.
Jasmine Sherman hails from New York, born to her parents Amanda and Thomas, who worked at labor and customer service jobs. After graduating from Northbridge High, she put herself through school and earned a bachelor's in business and a master's in finance from the University of Phoenix. Jasmine took time to live abroad to experience the benefits and pitfalls of other nations' systems. She came back to the U.S. with that insight in the hopes of achieving real social justice here in the U.S. And now Jasmine wants to take all that experience to become the next president of the United States. Hello, Jasmine, and welcome to OPP 2024. My first question that I give to all candidates is running for president. It's a big move. When was the moment you made the decision to run for president? Paint that picture for me.
So it was, and this is going to sound really, really corny, but it was literally November 21st, 2021. I'm on my way in the passenger seat of a car, headed to the beach, and the sunrise is happening, and I'm watching the sun come up. And I look over to the person that's driving the car and I say, I'm gonna run for president of the United States. I figured out how to fix it. And then they're like, what are you talking about? And I was like, no, really, I have a plan, I have an idea. And the whole beach trip became me explaining how I was gonna run for president of the United States. At the time, it wasn't about what solutions came to mind for me. It was about my goals, my objectives. And then it was about how can I make those things reality. So myself and a bunch of other people that I met on the internet, we got together and we started researching the laws and precedents and what we can do legally and what's been done historically. And that's how we came up with our plan to end houselessness in the United States of America.
So the battle between Hamas and Israel has upended the already strained relations amongst countries in the Middle East and abroad. The political fallout in the U.S. of whether to condemn and support Israel in their endeavor to destroy Hamas has been tremendous. What would you do to stop the fighting now? And what solution would you support so that Israel and its neighbors could achieve some form of civility and peace?
So I want to free Palestine, which means I would cut off all funding to Israel, but it goes further than Israel. My foreign policy make sure that we are no longer participating in any proxy wars. We are no longer going to be complicit in anybody's genocide. And that includes the Sudan, Tigray, and the DR. We have to liberate people. And the way we liberate people and save Americans money is to stop hurting brown people, stop funding atrocities against poor brown nations. And so when you say, how would I come up with a solution for Israel? I think that Israel is a nation where there are a lot of people who have opportunities to go back to the countries that they were born in, because I know a lot of Americans have immigrated and we have a wonderful country right here and they're welcome to come home. And I'm sure other countries feel that same way. But I also feel like if individuals want to stay in Palestine, they're going to need to work with an actual Palestinian government. Palestinian individuals will need to be allowed to return to their homeland and establish a government and rebuild their nation. And people who are of the country of Israel need to stay and work within those laws.
For all the accomplishments the U.S. as a society has achieved, one problem that has gotten worse is that of income inequality. More people are complaining of working harder but getting rewarded less, while those who have been rewarded get rewarded even more. Is there a way for U.S. citizens of all levels to achieve financial equality, or is this the natural byproduct of the life created in the U.S.?
One of the things that I've learned at working at some of the largest financial institutions in the world is that capitalism requires exploitation. However, with common sense legislation, we can do things by making sure people have universal basic income, which would guarantee everyone within Turtle Island access to funds to support themselves, to feed themselves, and to maintain a quality life, one of where people are thriving. And through my tax policy, people are able to review how we pay for that and where the money comes from. But I do feel like for too long we have chosen to give certain benefits to certain citizens, and that's caused a lot of duress between the middle class and poor people and rich people. If we provide everyone with universal basic income, we know everyone will have everything they need to survive. And that's going to help ease some of that animosity, but also make sure everyone's basic needs are met.
The office of President of the United States is many things to many people. If you were elected, what are some things the Commander-in-Chief, by extension the executive branch, should not do, should not be involved in?
I think that because I will be a different type of commander in chief, my call to action would be to act in a crisis, fill in gaps, and lead on big issues, which means that I should not be engaged of hints of impropriety. I should not be involved in indictments of any kind. I should not be accused of embezzling. I should not be accused of touching people inappropriately. I should not be leading without listening to the American public. I feel like with the technology we have, there is no reason that our constituents don't have access to their leaders. The reason they don't have access to their leaders gives people the excuse, well, they don't really know what I want. And thus it's okay that we have a system of politicians who don't do for the American public. That makes no sense to me. Collectively, when we have conversations about our leaders, I don't want to be viewed in that same vein. What I should not do is go to Washington, D.C. and become one of the people that don't care about Americans that are hungry, that don't care about Americans that are out of work, and don't care about Americans that desperately need healthcare services. I should not go to Washington and fit in with the status quo. What I should do is go ahead and make sure everyone's basic needs are met. I should acknowledge that we have a Congress and a Senate that is dysfunctional on purpose. They can move when it's financially benefiting their financiers. They choose not to. And I think it's time for term limits and an age cap. So when I go to Washington, D.C., one of the things that I should not do is lose focus. And I should not try to be like the rest of the politicians who we are already disappointed with.
Jasmine, I thank you for your time to present your candidacy to be the next president of the United States, and I wish you the best of luck. If anybody wants more information on Jasmine's campaign, check out her website at jasminesherman2024.com. That's Jasmine Sherman, JasmineSherman 2024.com. Coming up, I will present other presidential potential for 2024. You can check them out on OPP2024US.com. That's OPP2024US.com. Election Day is coming up on November 5th. If you haven't done so, please register to vote. And when the time comes for it, please vote.